Come spend a touristy week with me in London. After landing, I checked into the Zedwell Tottenham Court Road Hotel. It's basically a sleeping capsule but in the best connected location. First stop is a walking tour. I rushed over by the double-decker bus just in time to catch the change of guards at the Buckingham Palace. After that, we continued on to the walking tour, and the tour guide explained a lot about the history and the architecture in the city. So we were at Trafalgar Square for a bit, and then we walked through that entire area looking at all the monuments and structures and learned a lot about everything that we saw. And of course, we had to come across the red phone booth, which is so iconic. We went past the Big Ben area, and then we finally ended up at the Westminster Abbey. After the tour ended, we grabbed a quick bite at a bar nearby, and then we ended up at the Twinings tea shop. You're in London, you have to check out a tea shop. This one was amazing. They had so many different options. So we just browsed through this area, and then finally we ended up in Chinatown. It was so pretty, like the entire street is beautiful. And then we finally found a vegan spot for some soup. And as you can see, I was super jet lagged. So as soon as the soup arrived, we literally had it in like a few minutes. And then after that, we ended up at Mao's Falafels. I absolutely love Mao's. I had it when I was living in New York, and I really wanted to have something filling. So then I just ended up eating a falafel. And then after that, we sat at a park, just people watching for a few minutes, and then called it a night. Day 2 started with a walking tour, so I got some snacks on hand and I made my way to Camden Town. The second I stepped out of the station, I could instantly feel this energy in this area. Camden is known for its live music, street art, and vintage shopping. I explored Camden Market, where I found everything from like unique clothing to handmade goods to souvenirs, and there was an incredible food market with cuisines from all over the world. I also learned so much about Amy Winehouse, who had strong ties to this area. After the market, I grabbed a bite to eat, and this pizza was delicious. And then I also stopped by a cute coffee shop near Primrose Hill for some people watching. I spent some time sitting on the hill taking in the views of London before heading to King's Cross Station. Of course, I had to see platform 9 3/4 from Harry Potter. And then it was almost time for dinner, so we ended up at this amazing vegetarian restaurant. And as you can tell, I almost finished my food before remembering to film it. But the day wasn't over yet. I took the train to see London at night, with Big Ben and the London Eye all lit up. It was beautiful, and then I hopped onto the double-decker bus back to the hotel and called it a night. Day 3 was fully dedicated to the Harry Potter studio tour. If you're a Harry Potter fan, this place is a must visit. The tour began with the cupboard under the stairs and the iconic Great Hall. From there, I got to see the costumes, makeup, props, and behind-the-scenes magic that brought the films to life. There were green screen experiences, special effect demos, and of course, I had to hop onto the Hogwarts Express. To try the butterbeer. It was alcohol free, which was perfect because at this point I was already 3 months pregnant here. And then I walked across the outdoor sets, which were amazing. I also went inside Privet Drive, which was Harry Potter's house, and it was amazing to look at this in person. I also went through the Gringotts set, which was my absolute favorite, and finally I ended up seeing Diagon Alley and pulling the Screaming Mandrakes, which was way more fun than expected. Definitely don't skip on the gift shop because the souvenirs are amazing.
That was such an amazing experience. As you can see, I did end up buying the Gryffindor scarf. In case you guys are fans of Harry Potter, highly recommend coming here because you get so much insight on behind the scenes, on how the sets were made, and everything that goes into like making a movie.
After the tour, I took the train back to the city and stopped by this stunning former bank turned into a lounge for a snack with amazing music. After that, I headed to the garden at 120 for sunset views over London. It's completely free and such a great option in case you don't have Sky Garden reservation reservations. I ended the night at Dishoom after hearing so much hype about it. The vibes are amazing, but honestly, I've had better Indian food before. Day 4 started with a walking tour of the British Museum. The entrance alone was stunning, and our guide took us through some of the most famous exhibits because seeing the whole museum would honestly take days. We saw the famous reading room, which was once used by great historians, the Rosetta Stone, which helped unlock ancient scriptures, and so many incredible sculptures and artifacts from around the world. After that tour, I was straight on to my next one, the Harry Potter walking tour. Our guide showed us spots around the city that inspired parts of the Wizarding World. From the building that resembles Gringotts Bank to the streets that inspired Diagon Alley and Cecil Court with its pretty bookshops. After thousands of steps, I made my way to Trafalgar Square for some people watching and a quick bite to eat. Next stop was the National Gallery, home to some of the world's most iconic paintings. Then I headed to the Mercado Mayfair, which is a church transformed into a beautiful food market. I wasn't even hungry, but it was still worth seeing. Finally, I hopped onto the bus back to my hotel, grabbed dinner, and called it a day. Day 5 started in Notting Hill. I wandered through the colorful streets and admired the beautiful architecture. Every corner looked like a movie scene. I also stopped by the famous Notting Hill bookshop, which was so pretty. From there, I made my way down Portobello Road Market, one of London's most iconic street markets filled with vintage shops, antiques, and so many cute things. Once my hunger kicked in, I grabbed a quick falafel from a street stall, and of course, I had to stop for this matcha. After exploring a little more, I headed down towards Hyde Park, where I passed by the Kensington Palace and came across the stunning Albert Memorial and the iconic Royal Albert Hall. Next stop was the Natural History Museum, which was just as impressive on the inside as it is on the outside. But the highlight of my day was definitely this afternoon tea at the Goring Hotel. Since it was my birthday trip, I wanted to experience a classic London tea in style. It was definitely a splurge, but so worth it. Beautiful setting, endless tea, fresh sandwiches, pastries, and desserts. Such a special experience. To end the day, I made my way to Tower Bridge, walked across at sunset, and took in some of the most beautiful views of London. On day 6, I started the morning with a cruise along the River Thames from the Westminster Pier. It was a perfect way to take in all the iconic sights, from Big Ben to the Tower Bridge, and seeing the city from the water just hits different. Next stop was the Borough Market, one of London's oldest and most famous food markets, packed with fresh produce, cheeses, spices, teas, street food, and so much more. From there, I hopped onto the tube to Liverpool Street Station and walked over to Old Spitalfields Market. It's such a vibe. A mix of fashion, accessories, home decor, and so many food stalls. You could easily spend hours here. Then I made my way to Brick Lane, known for its food scene and iconic bagel spots. I tried one of the famous bagels, and honestly, it did not live up to the hype for me. After that, I walked over to Columbia Road Market, so colorful with independent shops and cute little finds. I even picked up a few things from this shop called In Bloom. And before wrapping up, I had to check off Neal's Yard. It was one of those spots you see all over Instagram. Definitely worth a quick visit. And just like that, my week in London came to an end.